Yo, 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 everybody, what's going on? Welcome to episode 65 of Climbing the Ladder. I'm your host, Chanman V, and today we got lots to talk about, with starting off with MLG Columbus not having StarCraft 2 added, apparently, from Sundance. And then we'll follow it up with QuakeCon, the good, the bad, the ugly. Got two guys here that went to QuakeCon and have lots to say about it. And then we'll talk about esports models. Which do you guys think is better? WCS, LCS style, or more the TI3 style, where there's just like a huge Super Bowl? And then we'll finish it off with Q&A from you guys, the viewers, and you can post your questions in the Reddit thread, which I'll link here in a second in the stream chat, or you can add me on Skype. My Skype ID is ChanmanV, and we'll add you to the call, and you can ask all of us your questions live. But I want to introduce my co-host today. Well, actually, one of the co-hosts isn't here quite yet, but Mr. John Clark over here from Esports Solutions, here with me each and every week. What's up, John?
Not much. Excited to start the show.
Awesome. Yeah, a little bit late today, but again, Richard will pop in here once he's good and ready. And then we got our guest here. Our guest, none other than esports producer, director, the source of dirty esports money, founder of SSN.
I spent it all.
He spent it all, right.
It's all gone.
SirScoots, what's up, Scott?
Not much. Thanks for having me on.
No
For the
problem.
record, you were having me on before the MLG StarCraft 2
Yes.
End of the World drama broke today, by the way.
Yes.
So, yeah. To talk
Yes.
about QuakeCon, basically.
Yeah. We don't try to
As an
do
added
drama.
bonus to the
We don't try to do
future.
drama on this show, okay? Like,
That's right. We're civil. Can I
Yeah.
swear still? Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
wait,
All
what's
right.
We
Mark?
changed the
What's
rules a
Mark?
little bit. You're allowed
Mark?
3 F-bombs throughout the whole show.
All right, hang on. Do you have some sort of production value ticker that
You know
counts
what?
down?
We do.
God.
We should need we need a ticker, especially for
Dude.
Lewis, for Mr.
Big
Lewis.
X's.
Lewis.
Mhm.
For Lewis, oh my gosh. I don't know if he says fuck more than I do, actually. I think I say fuck is definitely my preferred. See, we already went through 2 right there. Jeez. I'm in
No,
trouble.
it's 3
That's
per
me.
person, so
That's
we
me,
get
I
triple
know.
total.
Well,
Is
for
it
those
equal
of you,
opportunity? Is it like affirmative action swearing? Or is it spread out differently?
Richard might get 4 because he's European.
Exactly.
yeah,
It's hard.
okay, I give him.
It's hard
What
for
about
him.
me? I get something for being Asian.
So yeah, where is he? He's doing that game that he hates, that Counter-Strike thing. Talk
Yes.
about a sellout,
Sellout,
man. That
man.
guy has
Richard's
crumbled
a sellout.
from his virtuous ways.
So
I hope he's
such
getting
a-
paid for it at least.
Oh, you know he is.
I know. I'm sure he's not. that's the ironic part. I'm sure he's not.
Well, he might not be getting paid extra, like combat pay to do it, but isn't it? Yeah, part
Well,
of heaven.
Yeah, exactly. His company.
The
is
heaven
getting
gig.
paid for
Oh, okay.
it, but
So
yes,
he did sell out to.
I wouldn't imagine he's volunteering his time.
No, absolutely
I
not.
could be wrong. Could be wrong.
But okay,
Anyway.
let's start the talk with MLG, and lots of drama started. I mean, lots of talk started this morning when Sundance posted this tweet right here. Let me show it to you. So for those of you who can't read, I mean, you should be able to read it, but just so folks know, we are currently not planning to run SE2 at Columbus. Should that change, we'll let you know via official channels. Is this an official channel, Twitter? These days?
I think it is
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, okay.
Do they even
So-
have official channels?
Yeah, well,
no one
they
uses-
do have
no one
PR
uses-
releases on
No
their
one
site.
uses their website.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Come on, he knows it.
Okay, so anyways, this came out. It said 7 hours ago or something like that, and obviously a lot of the community has been talking about it, reacting to it. Mostly not good. Most of the reactions you would think, which is StarCraft 2 is dead type of stuff. So let's
hang
talk
on.
about MLG and
Got a background. I need to change this.
Oh shit.
All right, there we go. All right, much better.
Oh god. And all right, so let's talk about MLG and not having StarCraft at their next big event. After there were a lot of good feelings. Even though StarCraft 2 at Anaheim was smaller, and a lot of people were saying that, there were still a lot of good feelings that came from MLG Anaheim. Lots of great talk about biggest MLG ever. Numbers were great for all the games, and rah people felt really good about MLG. Now the next thing we hear is that StarCraft 2 is going to be gone, and the StarCraft 2 community and viewership is a pretty good percentage of the MLG viewership, especially at the LAN events, right? Because SC2 has been such a huge part of the LAN events for so long now. I don't know, what is it going on? 3 years? 3 years or something like that now? So, ditching SC2 now, and, they haven't announced which game they're going to replace it with is, I don't know, is pretty jolting, I think, to the community, and I would think even to the MLG user base. All these people have gold passes and shit, or whatever that people have bought. So, okay, let me get y'all's opinion on it. I'll start off with... Let me start with John, because I know Scoots is going to go on forever. So
yeah, let me get something in first.
I got nothing, bro.
Yeah,
I think it's unfortunate. Time will tell. Next
time. Oh,
topic.
shut up.
If I just recorded pre-show, oh my god, that would have been the entire show.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so we were talking about it a little bit before the show started or whatever. I'm just going to say it. I have said from the beginning, I think it's a bad thing when developers start to want to run their own events and get heavily involved. We certainly need them involved, but they don't understand they just don't understand the makeup in the industry and the kind of feel and community that is esports yet. And so when those things happen, it just seems like there seems to be a little bit more and more of things just not quite clicking, things not quite working. And if MLG is having some issues, it may be with Blizzard or whatever. Nobody really knows, but whatever they decide they're going to do, and they decide they're not going to run StarCraft 2 because it's just not worth it to them, then good for them. I'm fine with it. I think it's awesome, actually. I think it raises some drama, gets people talking again. Maybe, and you know what? There's nothing that says Sundance isn't doing it just to do that. So
yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna throw it out to you guys. See what you guys think. So Robert Ohlen wants to jump in. You guys okay with that?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Let me.
No, it's your show, and you cannot bring other people on.
I asked him if he wanted to come on earlier today.
He is going to point out.
Sure.
He's going to point out.
I even prepared an overlay for him. Look.
He's just here to push his European propaganda agenda on all of us, man.
Well,
he's definitely going to point out that MLG actually pays Blizzard, but from my understanding, that was only for the Anaheim deal, because didn't they run the finals at the same time as actually running the event, and so Blizzard went shopping around.
Where the fuck is he?
And said, hey, shit, it's not on yet. And then MLG just said, no, we'll pay you. And we'll run it. That's why IPL didn't get it. That's what I understood, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, back to as you're trying to get Robert on. My general point, Chris, based on Sundance's tweet, is there's definitely some vagueness in that tweet, and it's very typical Sundance, right? To toss that little grenade out there. Yeah. It says currently, so that means as of right now, there are no plans. This could be, again, a grenade to spark Blizzard to get off their ass back behind the scenes at a negotiating table that we don't know anything about. It could certainly be Sundance throwing it towards the fan base in the sense of, hey, you keep shitting on us, so you didn't like when we pre-did the thing at Anaheim and then cast it afterwards for content. You haven't won watching our stuff. Maybe we just won't do, Columbus. There's all sorts of things that tweet kind of throw and start. We don't know if it's just the timeline of it, right? You look at BlizzCon and the end of WCS's finale for now, right, is a couple weeks before this event. If Blizzard has not figured out what WCS becomes, and therefore how points might or might not work for a company like MLG if they want to throw events again, and they won't have that decided 2 weeks after BlizzCon probably, especially if they're going to the drawing board and trying to relaunch WCS in a good way, then maybe Sundance doesn't want to spend the time and the effort and the wherewithal to produce what they normally produce for StarCraft on an iffy kind of one-off, not tied to something bigger, don't know what pros will come because it's not tied to something bigger event. And he wants to spend his stage time on other stuff. We don't know. If it's the end of MLG and StarCraft 2, that's a totally different beast than no StarCraft 2 at Columbus. Night and day. It really, really is. So I don't know where the pitchforks should come out, you know, in that sense. What I don't like about the tweet is that's all we're getting. If tell us, you know, and I know that the door's never going to open, and we're not going to hear this, and this from everybody. But like, there's got to be some reason why you right now are making that decision as a business. And if you're not going to have StarCraft, can you tell us, like, spin us, what is going to be there? What fun and cool shit are you going to do? Like, you always want a Debbie Downer with something else, right? And
yeah, that's
you know,
exactly.
I don't want a fluffy PR that says nothing either, but I would want a little bit more than hearing that a company that has drastically been the main support of StarCraft 2 at live events for the last 2.5 years, 3 years since beta, 15 plus events, right, is not doing one now. There's a little bit more. There's something to that, and I would love a little bit of currently know why. You know, give us a little. That's my take on it. You know.
What's up, Robert?
It could be because they don't actually know everything either, though.
Yeah, and again, if I'm Sundance and I'm not, and WCS doesn't know what the hell they're doing next year, I'm not going to wait because I got 3 months to plan an event, and maybe my team's got to start planning around other games. You know, I don't know.
What's wrong
Robert,
with saying some of that, though? I mean,
hello.
Hey,
let's get Robert in now that I've given my speech. There's my take on today's news.
All right, Robert is in here. Sorry, I'm just getting you in here real quick. There we go. All right, we're good. What's up, Robert? I love that you wait until I start the show to like literally right when I start the show to say that you want to join in.
I'm sneaky that way.
See, I knew you. That's why you even prepared an overlay with the alliance. So I'm not stupid. Okay, I mean, I think those are good points, Scott, and I think that, you know, there's nothing wrong with just saying those things that you just said. Like, if they don't know, they don't know. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit transparent about what you want to do. And if you think it might screw up plans, you know, maybe it's something that could potentially happen, then why are you announcing it right now anyways, right? You could have waited a month, maybe. I mean, they waited 3 weeks before they announced the Anaheim dates. Like, for sure. Like, they were definitely going to have, like, Anaheim is definitely going to happen, like, 3 weeks before the thing. So, you know, him announcing it right now, I think says a lot to me. I don't know.
What, though? What do you think it says, really?
Yeah, I think it says a lot about StarCraft 2 right now. It's just, like, their plans with StarCraft 2. It's because, again, I was telling Scoots before the show started that, you know, PR-wise, and we know MLG's made PR mistakes in the past, but wouldn't they try to buffer it a little, you know, just buffer it a little bit with, you know, we're doing a small SC2 event somewhere between now and November, you know?
No. What about the fact that if they do it now, they kind of know StarCraft 2 is not going to be a part of it? If they do it now, it gives them a lot more build-up time to promote whatever other game and everything like this. But if they did it at the last minute, you'd have a lot of pissed off people. Even doing it a month before the event when people have already bought their tickets and stuff. So I actually now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking if they already know that StarCraft 2 is most likely not going to be a part of it, I guess I would probably announce it early too and just get it out of the way. So
it's not most likely. I mean, if you're going to announce it, you're going to announce that it's not part of it. Not this whole planning business. We're not planning. You know, that's
yeah, it was the wording of it. You're right. It did make it feel
as far as I know, they're not planning on having Marvel versus Capcom 3 there either. So they haven't mentioned that, right? So it's weird. It's a game that they have supported forever. He's at least now said, as of right now, no go, bro.
We have Quake at Remake Winner.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You haven't seen our website?
Now, see, here's your problem. But you skipped summer, right? It didn't kill the game, right? Like, it survived. You're doing it again.
Yeah.
What, you mean Quake's still alive? No way.
Oh, son of a bitch. John, I will stab you.
Hold on.
Wait, we haven't even got to the Quake portion of the show.
Okay,
we will get there. We will get there.
We need to get Boss's opinion on this shit, because obviously he does deal with Blizzard.
Blizzard, well, all publishers have different approaches when it comes to esports and tournaments. I can't go into specifics, of course, since it's agreements, but it's complicated.
But what would it take for you to come out 3 months before a DreamHack winner and say, as of right now, my friends and followers, we will not have XXX. What gets you to say that? Is he poking the bear? Is he poking the negotiation bear? You know what I mean?
I don't know. From how we would say, we never try to tell bad news. We just tell good news. And the bad news is the things that is between the lines. You don't have to focus on the bad news. So, I don't know. You have to ask Sundance.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it would have been nice if he would have said no to this, but hey, this, and this. And maybe even for StarCraft, and this, and this after Columbus. But we're waiting on some stuff. But all we get is, like you said, that negative. And again, I'm the king of negatives, so it's not like I can... Like, I don't spin rosy very often, so, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's been talk of them, I think, transitioning out of StarCraft 2. I mean, I think a lot of people, behind the scenes will probably agree with that. I just didn't think it was going to be this soon. I mean, literally skipping an event, their next big event, when they only had 3 events this year. Or
hey,
only gonna have 3.
There's a reason why DreamHack announced going to Moscow next year. North America is dead, man. There's no esports in North America. It's Russia.
It's all about Russia and the tanks, man.
Oh, man.
World of Tank Hack coming your way in 2004.
Jesus.
I just don't understand it. No, I do. It's all about money. I just don't understand the game.
And I don't know.
Okay, that's World of Tanks. Whatever. All right. So,
nothing wrong.
Right,
that's a whole different kettle.
Yeah,
that's true. So you guys are thinking it's mostly, like, Scoots, you think it's mostly to do with WCS more than anything else?
Yeah, again, and again, you know, people in chat are like, well, maybe it's going to be a big... They've been, you know, Adam and those guys were tweeting about throwback Halo events and going old school with old Shadowrun and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, maybe MLG's just spinning Columbus in kind of a different way, and there's some of the old and some of the new. And maybe StarCraft is not one of the new olds that's staying, right? Again, they haven't announced a single game. So if, you know, maybe they have released the iron grip of Riot and their relationship, and we're going to see a Dota 2 tournament. Like, we don't know what anything about Columbus is. Now, if we all roll in and it's Call of Duty, League of Legends, and PlanetSide on the main stage, and, like, it's kind of an obvious that one got replaced with a money buy or an Infinite Crisis or a game that's still in kind of promo mode versus... like top esport level, that's one thing. But again, we just don't know. And again, I guess in my old age, I'm hoping that it's a one-off and they got some crazy plans for Columbus and they figure out how they work with WCS next year. And we see them do more StarCraft 2. Because, you know, like Robert said, like, in a way, we're kind of dead here. There is nothing like QuakeCon. First off, forget the esports side of it. Like, that event is the closest thing to a dream hack we have in the sense of 3,000 kids jammed in, playing their games, doing their thing, festival-like. MLG's never been like that. But now we lose that next step thing, that big spectator experience that isn't directly tied to Riot doing it or Valve doing it. That does take a bite out of StarCraft. It sucks if it's a permanent thing. Hell, if it's a one-off, it sucks. For those that want to go to Columbus and cheer on StarCrafters, there's no doubt it sucks. And you can replace it with whatever you want, but if I'm a StarCraft fan, I'm bummed because I want to go to Columbus. I don't know. You know, I'm not a fan of WCS, and I think WCS played into a whole lot of people relooking at how they deal with StarCraft 2. You know, I wish we could reel it back to where WCS was just them working with everybody else and figuring out that very first one. Because I truly think, and I'm not talking production value, I'm not talking about good games coming out of studios, I'm talking about the scene has been hampered by the rules and regulations that are being put on everybody creating content around WCS. I don't think it helps anybody right now.
I think it hurts. I think it hurts their community, hurts growth. I think it's terrible.
Robert, what do you think?
It hasn't hurt us. It's the opposite.
Yeah, I don't want to say hurt in the sense of overall, because again, those that have figured out how to work, like you worked out how to keep doing your thing and still keep the game going, right? So in that sense, it hasn't hurt you. You're not changing your broadcast schedule. You're not a guy that has to work his entire teamling around what time he can broadcast because it's already on, you know? Yeah. But like here, it's kind of a different beast for some people. I don't see how it's really, truly... I guess it's helped ESL in the sense of they've got some good content coming out of it. And NASL has the gig back. So I don't mean it doesn't help some people, but I think overarchingly, it's not what it's supposed to be. And we'd be okay without it because everyone would still be doing their thing. and what everyone was doing was okay. Especially when you bigs all kind of said, well, y'all said you're going to start talking to each other, so you don't step on dates, so you work together. You know,
Which there's less clashes now than last year or the year before.
So if you all were doing that, well, I mean, again, I'm just not a big fan of what they're doing over there, and I think it's obvious. Now, I'll let others speak about it.
But it feels like there's like becoming different flavored ways of how to do esports. We have the North American way, we have the European way, and then I have the Asian way, maybe, which is more like the Korean way. So it's 3 different roads that you can travel down on how to do esports.
Yeah, but the WCS is supposed to be all of them. You know what I mean? Like, they are using different
I'm
parts.
talking general esports, not.
General.
As I tweeted,
okay. Sure.
Esports is a beautiful garden with different plants in it.
Yeah.
But it
I
is.
love you.
People go to bananas. It's like it's Dota 2 this, or it's League of Legends that, or it's StarCraft 2 this. They're important, but you know it's everything together that makes it so powerful, in my opinion, anyways.
Agree.
And we always support the good games, the best games, the games that the people wants to see. That's why we have Quake now in winter, for instance.
Right. What's up, Richard?
Oh, am I here? Am I live? Is this happening?
Yeah.
This is happening.
We had to start without you, buddy. We had to start without you.
Shit, man. I'm real sorry about keeping you guys. Counter-Strike. Turns out everyone.
Counter-Strike.
Dude,
I thought that game was dead.
Wow, man.
Everyone involved with it is so incapable of doing anything on time. So yeah, I had to cast a 3-map spectacular, but I'm here now, and no doubt I'll be offering lots of intelligent and insightful points. But apologies if my mic is shit. Let me know if it is.
Oh no,
so
your
I can
mic's
tweak
fine.
it.
Your mic's perfect.
Is it?
Actually.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's all right, because I thought I was going to have the SirScoots mic tonight. Like, it's I broke my other headset after a game of solo queue. I'm ashamed to say. 30 years old, taking out his anger on hardware. So this is an old one. It's not quite as good as the other, so I apologize in advance.
No problem. No
Sounds
problem.
decent. Sounds good.
Yep. If what you've made, we kind of started the talk with the MLG Columbus announcement today, and that's what we've been talking about. We've just been really just talking about what it means, and
well, it's I'll chip in with my 2 cents right from the get-go. I've been a massive fan of MLG. Everyone knows that. I think they've done so much good, especially in the North American scene. Dropping StarCraft, maybe it's an economic reality, but to be honest, I got serious concerns about where MLG is heading. And for me, as I said to several people earlier when asked about it, feels almost like a fire sale. Like they're kind of going to go the way that CPL did towards the end, which was, we'll put a tournament on for you, like if you're the highest bidder, offer us some money, we'll run a tournament, and they're going to take that money, they're going to cut and run and look to sell the brand maybe in like 18 months to 2 years, and maybe MLG in the form we know won't be around anymore. And to be honest, maybe that won't be such a loss, because it's lost a lot of its shine, it's lost a lot of its luster recently, and it's a huge shame, because the people involved have done great work in esports, and we're all really passionate about esports, but nothing lasts forever. They had a good run.
So your concern, Richard, is more about where MLG is going with this, as opposed to anything to do with Blizzard. That's interesting, because
let's look at it this way, right? I mean, like, we've seen this before with, like, say, CPL prime example, okay? New games are coming out all the time, and now game developers want their titles to be so esports focused because they see it as a revenue stream. I mean, that's what esports is viewed as now. And because we're seen as a successful revenue stream, that's why we're starting to do better business. That's why esports is getting stronger. So because of that, MLG can say to a company like Warner Brothers, hey, do you want to run an Infinite Crisis tournament? And we'll guarantee you some esports exposure. And Warner Brothers are like, well, yeah, because we want this esports thing to work, so we're going to pay a shit ton of money for that privilege. So MLG losing StarCraft, it doesn't really impact on them. It might actually be better for them financially, fiscally, to focus on some of these new games. I've got no doubt it is, or they wouldn't be doing it. But what in terms of it means for MLG is, where are they going to be when these games don't necessarily take off, don't have a sustainable community, don't generate that interest, don't generate pay-per-view, and I don't think they will, because I don't see look, I want Infinite Crisis to succeed because Warner Brothers like me, and they let me have access, right? So, and they're inviting me to Gamescom.
Well,
So I'd love it to succeed.
Let's compare.
But I don't think it will.
Let's compare MLG to something like DreamHack, Robert. I mean, with MLG, when the games and the community that follow the games, the fans that come to the event, I mean, that dictates a lot about who goes to the events, how successful these events are, at least live, that sort of thing. With DreamHack, it's different. DreamHack, your actual DreamHack, the actual land is a completely different thing.
That's just 2 times a year.
Yeah, that's just 2 times a year. Yeah, you have DreamHack.
Which is more similar to MLG, for instance.
Yeah, so...
And I actually... this Chicken Little, the sky is falling, StarCraft 2 is dying again. It's more goddamn tournaments and content than ever before this year.
Yep.
It's too much. It's really oversaturated now. We have never had so big viewership numbers as we have had this year. We started off the first event we did. We had 120K peak on one stream. That was like twice against Stockholm last year. So it's not exploding as it was in 2010 and 2011, but it started on a really much lower level. It's reached its level right now because of like StarCraft 2 is a more complicated game to play than, for instance, League of Legends or Dota 2. It's not a team game, which takes away a lot of the casualness or the fun to play with people, even though some of the communities are retarded, I've noticed. But, there's no, end-all esports game. There's different niches within esports. Some are bigger, some are smaller, and they contract over time and they expand over time, So if people just, don't.
So people are overreacting. Is that what you're saying? I mean,
hell yeah, and they have the time span when it comes to everything that happens. A 12-month period in esports is like 5 years in the real world. People go bananas. It's like they have ADD and OCD all the time. But that's esports. That's gaming. That's internet culture. It moves fast.
Scoots, you have something?
Well, I mean, like I said in the beginning, I think it's an overreaction because we don't know the significance of the announcement other than more than likely not at Columbus, right? So, and again, it could be just as simple as negotiations have not worked out in time for them to get a license, again, based on new WCS stuff and what Blizzard's plans might be for the future that they're still maybe even planning, that they just MLG's predetermined deadline at this point, not going to have the game probably. Now, to Richard's point, I don't think fire sale. First off, I think every company on the planet is for sale for the right price. Every owner would take the right cash out and call it a day. And I'm sure Sundance, Sepso, and the investors would be no exception. I don't think that payday is going to come to them anytime soon that makes it worth their while. I would also say that I can't speak for Robert, but DreamHack might be the exception, but everybody who's broadcasting StarCraft on a regular basis takes white label money and does stuff for developers right now. So the same thing you just said about MLG taking Warner Brothers money, etc., Turtle Entertainment has more Go Cups going every week for games they're being paid to care about than they do games that we all care about. And that's no offense to ESL. That's how you pay for a studio. It's how you pay for a studio and how you pay for casters, right? But they're doing tanks, they're doing Firefall, they're doing all that stuff too. So, and you can't blame them, right? You now have developers that not only care about using your game, but they might pay you to use it. Now, does it build an esport that we're used to? Nope. Nope. Builds promo tournaments and such. So, again, I don't think they're fire sailing. I think they're trying to find revenue streams. And yes, Sony pays them to promo PlanetSide and help them consult to make a big game and make content. And they're doing the same thing with Crysis. But a lot of their contemporaries are doing the exact same thing, Richard. Right, wrong, or indifferent, right? My fear is that you've got the Riots and the Valve in a lesser extent, because they're kind of in their own world with what we're watching right over there on the international. But Riot has spent so much money building their own world, but they first started building that world by helping MLG and everybody else, right? Gave them a bunch of money to run that first kind of set of events. Then they said, we'll just kind of do it ourselves, right? You got ex-staff, you got all those people now working for IPL, but if MLG and those folks kind of made business decisions based on, well, if we keep getting this kind of Riot money every year, and that all magically went away on this season of LCS, and they went, well, yeah, we'll give you some LCS, but I'm not giving you $250,000 anymore, bro, because I'm doing it over here. They're all kind of trying to figure out, I think, how to plug those holes. And we all know Blizzard doesn't go, how much money do you want to run our game? They don't do that. Of all of them, they're the least likely to do that, right?
Valve doesn't do that either. They don't pay a dime.
Well, no, but yeah, they don't. But that's why I said they're kind of different, but they're making esports look like nobody else can this weekend, right? They're setting a bar very high, right?
Shit.
So they do it a different way, right? So I just think MLG is grabbing promo money where they can. Shit, back in the Got Frag days, we ran fucking a Fear tournament to get paid, not because we thought Fear was going to be the next fucking esports. That's old school shit. I hope.
I think the difference, though.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
was rambling. Go ahead.
I think the key difference with the why I would suspect this might be a grab as much as you can before we close up shop kind of thing is you look at ESL. Prime example, Turtle Entertainment have got an infrastructure that's always going to pay. They're always going to exist in some form because people are going to sign up, play leagues, play games, and they're going to have a premium revenue stream. I think MLG don't kind of have that, and I don't think North America really has that outside of ESEA. Maybe Alienware have tried to make some inroads on that, and other people have tried, but I'd say ESEA pretty much got that sewn up, certainly for certain games, and that's why I worry, because as you say, when you're searching for revenue streams and the option comes down to we will put you on our circuit if you pay to be there, I do worry about a CPL style collapse, because I don't know how sustainable that is, because you don't build up a community that's going to be there tomorrow. And we all know Sundance has a thing for pay-per-view, and maybe that's a good idea, and maybe it isn't, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But the games that will eventually end up on the MLG, I don't see people paying top pay-per-view dollar to watch, and that's when I'm worried that 6 months from now MLG is going to be the Infinite Crisis, World of Warplanes,
Yeah, well,
we laugh at WCG about these days is what you're talking about. Like they're gonna grab promo games.
But I disagree a little bit. We're forgetting that they do have one game that does draw quite a bit of people, and those people pay more than any other community, even more than StarCraft 2, and that's Call of Duty.
Alliance.
No. Oh,
Sorry.
He's watching such as.
I know we're not watching the international whatsoever.
Is Robert stroking out again? Is he on the line? Like, but yeah, you're right. Now the Call of Duty guys. I mean, look, you can see Sundance is very happy to be in bed with them. And he is really, I follow Sundance's Twitter every day, and I like the way he wears his heart on his sleeve, and you can see exactly what his mood is. And he's been very snippy and pithy towards the StarCraft 2 community, even playing down today that, hey, if we pull out, you guys have got plenty in North American StarCraft 2, which is bullshit. I mean, that's bullshit, right? I mean, it's a ridiculous thing to say, and he knows that. But he's doing it because him and the community have never quite gelled for whatever reason. But he loves the Call of Duty guys. I mean, let's not forget, this is a guy who called out the Halo community, called them all kids and bitches. He's not afraid to bite the hand that effectively feeds. And again, you either like that or you hate that. But he is very much behind the Call of Duty community right now. And you know what? The Call of Duty community is sensing that. And you're absolutely right there, John. They're definitely getting behind MLG. I'm thinking about it from a PC perspective, not really a console thing.
True. But I was thinking as big picture. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry. But just from a European perspective, isn't Call of Duty more like the backbone or history of MLG when it comes to Halo? It's console and it's
console FPS for sure.
It's like a back to the roots kind of thing. But
that's what I'm thinking.
Is same genre.
Maybe the idea here is that he's getting back, and if it is about taking some promo money, that's fine. But maybe it's about getting back to doing what they did best, which was running an open style bracket, and people pay to go to these events. Call of Duty teams would pay upwards of, I think, $260 to get into an MLG event, knowing they're probably going to get smashed in the first round or something. But maybe he's thinking, I'm tired of playing all the politics with these AAA developers. Let's just go back to work doing what we do best, and and running some promo events. And maybe he doesn't care so much about, getting 150,000 people watching the stream. I don't know.
Do the Call of Duty teams pay right now to enter an MLG?
I don't know what happens anymore as far as they pay. I mean, I do remember the Halo teams paid, and the Call of Duty teams have paid before. I mean, if I ran a Call of Duty tournament here in Omaha and I announced it today and I said it was going to be on Sunday, I could get 32 teams that would pay $60 a team to get in it. And they'd all show up and they'd play and they'd have fun. Because it used to be you played the games you wanted to play because you played them to compete. And I still pay $760 for my soccer team every 6 weeks. And because I enjoy playing. And yes, I agree. I'm getting tired of all the little babies out there expecting everything to be handed to them. So anyway, that's a side note.
So that's the MLG kind of side of things. Looking at this whole scenario. Let's take a look at the StarCraft 2 side of it. We've talked a little bit about it, but I kind of want to dig a little bit more into it because we had other community members reacting to it. One of which was John, Totalbiscuit, right? He reacted with saying that, hey, maybe I need to start casting a different game, because there's just no opportunity to cast, just with, another organization kind of.
He'd do that anyway.
I know, but I'm just saying,
he chose the wrong continent.
Yeah, he chose the wrong continent. Oh man, that whole bit was classic too.
The idea that Totalbiscuit has any loyalty to any one game is nonsensical. He goes with what's popular and he goes with what's going to get him numbers, presents, and ostensibly money.
Totalbiscuit was just an example.
As to DreamHack, we're not sometimes I have this feeling that people think that we are some kind of esport Gandhis or something. And we're doing everything pro bono.
You do wear nappies, a lot of you. So
that's because of the stress. That's because of the stress. We crap our pants on a daily basis.
You should do.
If you don't have a budget, you can't do any production. You can't deliver any experience or entertainment to anybody. So it's all about the money all the time.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me respond to you, Richard, first with TB. So you're saying TB will just jump in any game? I mean, that's definitely not true. I mean, the guy owns a team, right? The guy has run events for NA where he just throws $15,000 into, and it's more it's more than that, all right. So
it's not altruistic charity work.
It's not altruistic, but saying that he just jump into whatever game's popular is.
He did cast Quake Live for me once for free, and we had more viewers than I think the finals.
I'm not saying that he doesn't love games, but the pluralization there is key. He'll jump to whatever is going to work for him, and he'd be stupid not to. So he can sit in the Twitch TV chat like he's doing like a kid and flame me and call me an idiot. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is absolutely on the money. I've seen him in the Dota 2 community immediately as well, talking about how it's going to be, it's going to exceed the viewing numbers in LoL in 12 months, and then coming into their subreddit like, oh, hey guys, did you notice my tweet? It's all very false and fake, and he knows exactly what he's doing because he's not an idiot.
Right, hold on.
Oh, boy.
Right. You have to bring John wants to get on this now. Okay.
The point still remains, right? And there is a point. It's got nothing to do with him being, childish and disliking me for whatever reason. And blocking me on Twitter and all this other nonsense stuff he's done. But what I am saying is him saying, oh, there's not opportunities or whatever. Look, if the game is dying, he's not going to be the guy who's going to stand there as it goes down. Like I get the sense with some other casters, like an Apollo maybe, who's has turned down opportunities to go and cast other games. He loves the game. He's said it a million times. Like Artosis, prime example. When we talked to him, what did he say? He says, "I'll be here as long as you can load up StarCraft 2 and play it." I don't get the sense.
Okay, hold on. All right,
that's
all right, this gets out of hand, dude. I'm cutting this shit off. All right, so John's gonna jump on here real quick. All right.
Wow, what's happening? Are people spamming Twitch TV chat?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, great! I love doing this. Just enjoy the numbers, Chris. Just enjoy the numbers. Don't even ban them. So what?
Even though it's the International 3, you're soon to break 1,000 concurrent. This is amazing.
Exactly.
All that esports money for Chris, eh? He knows what he's doing. hopping from game to game to game, getting a lot of esports money from the controversy. Yeah, it's not like Richard Lewis has ever done anything of the sort in that respect. And Rich, I'm really curious to know, right? I'm extremely curious to know how on earth you could say something along the lines of, oh yeah, it just jumps from what's popular to what's popular. And for one thing,
those weren't my exact words, but I mean, if you want to summarize it to try and...
Well, I mean, it shortens it. Everyone heard your words over the past 5 minutes.
I said you wouldn't go down with the StarCraft 2 ship, and if you did, you'd be an idiot.
Yeah, because thankfully I don't have to. You talk about Artosis, you talk about Apollo. Which other game is Apollo going to go and cast? We are talking about the guy that about a year ago didn't know what recoil was when asked about FPS. He doesn't really have another game that he can go to. You talk about Artosis. Artosis casts World of Tanks for the payday. You know this, right? Yeah, this is something that he does.
He's also very self-deprecating about doing that as well.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that. That's fine. Yeah, same thing when I did Quake as well, because it seemed like a bit of a laugh.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Ouch. Ouch.
Don't hit John Ware.
That one went well, John. You had fun doing it, and you know it. Admit it.
Yeah, it's just fun to see how the other half lives every now and again, but...
I'm not sure we're a half. We're like 1/3.
I probably had allies on this show until I said that. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, Rich...
Hey, John, you should cast Quake for DreamHack Winter.
I'm telling you,
awesome.
that would be awesome.
I don't like planes, man, but I'd happily go and do it, because Quake's actually a lot of fun to cast. And that's what it really comes down to, Rich. I cast the stuff that's fun to me, right?
Yeah, and that's great.
The reason I'm not casting LOL, even though I have, if I went to go and cast LOL right now, and I went to start making LOL videos again, I would make a shitload of money doing it, for the most part, because I had this massive established LOL fan base before I just stopped playing the game, because I couldn't be arsed with it anymore because I didn't like it, right?
But also, you intelligently realise that Dota 2 is the rising star right now, and that's why you've been into
not on the casual side of things, it isn't. People don't make money casting esports. People make money casual.
And this just means you might know more about it than me. I think the kind of League of Legends, almost like the casting scene and the personality scene, it's kind of sewn up now. You're either Riot or you ain't. And I think the casuals outside of it, the people who want to make a living from casting, aren't going to do so. Whereas I don't feel that with Dota 2. I feel that Dota 2 could be crying out for some fresh voices, and I think you sense that, and I think that's where you're going to go. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm not even criticising you for doing it, by the way. So to come on here and try and make out that it's a personal attack, I mean, you're the one talking about how I don't earn money and blah, 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 and all of this stuff.
Wait. Well, you were getting at me on the show, so I got you in the chat. You know how it goes. But here's the thing, right?
John,
There's a very small number of people that actually make money via casting. I'm not one of those people. Yeah, StarCraft has been in the red for me for the past couple of years, continues to be in the red. If you want to ask how much people get paid for casting, you can ask Robert, you can ask Sundance. I can tell you right now, the amount that I got for casting the last few MLGs is 2.5k, which is less than the opportunity cost of actually doing that event. If I'd stayed home making videos, I would have made more money than that on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. If I wanted to get into League of Legends and I wanted to make money, I wouldn't do it through casting because it's just not a sensible thing to do. It's too much time invested for not enough return. I'd be making videos of me playing that game, which is what I used to do. And I got
but John,
300k on each, right?
Couldn't you? Isn't it? It's paid marketing for you as well as
I'm marketing to a scene that already knows who I am anyway. My